Hi everyone, the Tax Pro here, and today we are going to talk about recurring invoices within Wave. So this is the Wave platform. This is the dashboard when we first log in, and there's a couple of different ways that we can navigate to recurring invoices. So I'll show you those in a second, but first I want to talk about why would we do a recurring invoice. And so some businesses don't need recurring invoices. Maybe you have a sale, happens once, and then you might not have another sale for a while. Other businesses, on the other hand, can use recurring invoices to cut down on time. So recurring invoices can be used if you have maybe like a monthly service that you're providing to somebody. If you have somebody that's on a subscription, maybe you ship out product every month or every week or on a specific interval, then you can use recurring invoices. This will generate your recurring invoices for you, so you're not having to go in and manually create these invoices every time. So there's two separate ways that we can navigate here. We can go to the sales and payment area on this left-hand menu to drop down. The fourth option is recurring invoices right here. The other option is we can go to create a new, which is right here. And then we can click recurring invoice. Okay, so both of these will take you to recurring invoices. So what we're going to do here is we are going to fill out your recurring invoice. This little area that's folded up right here, this is your information for your company. So if we drop it down, this is going to be generated with what we've already uploaded. So I don't have a logo in here because this isn't a real company. So you can put your logo here. It'll show up nicely on the invoice. You can also change the name of the invoice if you would like. So you could put something like a, monthly maintenance package rather than invoice. And then, you could put monthly distiller maintenance underneath. So you can change these if you would like. You don't have to add anything to the subdescription if you do not want to. You don't have to touch this area. You can leave it folded up. This is going to have your business information there. So I'm just going to fold it up. Again, you don't have to change it. It's up to you what you want to do. Here you're going to add your customer. So we're just going to do Main Street Manufacturing with Susie. You could select a different customer. You could add a customer from there. The invoice number here is going to be auto-generated, and that's because Wave is just going to go numerically to the next invoice number. This PO and SO number area, PO stands for purchase order. So this would be something that you would receive from your customer. So your customer may or may not, in their own system, generate a purchase order. And then what they're doing is they're connecting that purchase order, they're matching it to your invoice when they receive it. So you don't have to have a purchase order number in here if they have not provided one. If they have provided you with a PO number, it can sometimes be very important to their accounting system that PO number is referenced on your invoice. Okay, so you don't want to ignore a PO number if the customer sends you one. However, if the customer does not send you one, that's okay. This area is not necessary. SO, on the other hand, stands for sales order. A sales order would be something that you would generate on your end within your company. Okay, so I'm going to leave this blank. But if, a customer were to send you like PO 123 or something like that, you could put the PO in there. Okay. And it would show up on the invoice so that they can then match that invoice to the PO in their system. It's a really important matching tool that we use in accounting to help prevent fraud. So PO numbers can be important. Invoice date, this is going to be auto-generated. And the reason being is because this is going to be based on what we set later, on how we want this scheduled. So the invoice date isn't going to be one set date. This is a recurring invoice. Wave is going to create a new invoice on a regular basis. Payment due, so you can select either the payment is due on receipt, or you can look and see, you could do within 7 days, within 14, etc. So I'm going to put within 7. Then here we're going to add an item. So I am just going to put monthly service for the distiller. If you wanted to add a new item, you could easily just add an item if you would like, and just create a new item from within the invoice itself. If you've never sold this service package, or if you want to put like specific notes on there or call it something special for this client, you can. So this is going to have the name of the item. This is going to have a description. You can come in here and edit the description. So this says, maintenance on distillers completed twice a month and as needed. So we could maybe put, completed 4 times a month. And then as needed. So maybe we're making an exception for this particular client. They're a great client. They're going to come back, or maybe they're closer. So we're not having to drive to the distillers, whatever the case may be. You can also adjust the price. So let's say that, okay, we're going to do it 4 times. Instead of charging $1,200, we're going to charge $1,900. So you can go in and modify this. You can also look to see what income account you have categorized this as. So this is categorized as sales. You could potentially go in and let's say you were like, oh, well, we don't want to put it in sales. We want to put all the actual sales of the equipment in sales, but we want to put the service portion in service revenue, or something along those lines. You can see where this is going to direct it to. Tax. If you have to tax this particular item, you can select a tax here. We don't have taxes set up in here yet, because again, this is just a demo account. And then you'll have your subtotal and then your total. There's a couple other areas that you can see are on this invoice. You can have a notes/terms area. So we could put, per the service agreement, signed October 15th, 2024, something along those lines. And then there's a footer. So the footer is a separate area that you can put additional information in. So maybe I'll just put thank you. And you don't have to put anything in these either. So don't think that you have to put stuff in the particular fields. These are optional fields. You may have a client that literally you just say, oh, monthly service, and then just move on. There's no description. There's nothing. There's just a fee. And they understand because of your sales process and the conversations that you've had. Okay, so let me go over this real quick one more time. To navigate to the recurring invoice section from the dashboard, you can go under sales and payments, or you can go to create a new and then recurring invoice. You don't have to put anything here. This is automatically going to be folded up, but you could, if you wanted to, like if you don't have your logo, we could put our logo here. You can change this initially said invoice. You could put monthly maintenance package, whatever you're selling. And then you can put a description, don't have to. You're going to need to select a customer. Your invoice number will be auto-generated because Wave is just creating these invoices on a specific schedule, which we'll set here in a minute. You can put a PO or an SO number. If your customer does not send you a PO number, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Invoice date is auto-generated because this is going to be a recurring invoice. So we're going to end up with multiple invoice dates. And then payment due, you can select on receipt or within so many days. So we're going to put within 7. You'll then select the items that you are selling. You can change description here. You can check to see what income account this is going to be directed to. You can modify pricing. You can put tax on it, all that good stuff. You could add another item. There's an area for notes/terms. This does not have to be filled out for the invoice to generate. So if you don't have anything to put there, it's okay. Don't put something there just for the sake of putting something there. That's just really going to be dependent on whether or not you need something there. And then footer, I just put thank you. You can put whatever you want. You don't have to put anything. This is just a separate area that has a different, note or whatever you want to put on it. So then we're going to click save and continue. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so this is recurring invoice. You'll notice that this is in draft status. So it is not activated. It is not currently generating, okay? So we've created the invoice. You can go back and edit it if you're like, oh, I forgot to do something. Then you can set a schedule. So let's say that this is our monthly service package. And let's say we're going to start it in January, okay? And we require payment up front. So we require payment by the 1st of January if we're going to provide this service in January. We're going to want to send it a couple of days beforehand because we put that the payment is due within 7 days of invoice date. So we can repeat this invoice monthly. We can repeat it on whatever day of the month we would like. So we can pick first, last, or we can pick a specific target date. So I'm going to put the 24th. Now it's saying create first invoice on. It's picked November because that's the next 24th from this particular date. I don't want it to start in November because we're not starting our service package in December. We're going to start our service package in January. So I want this client to receive this invoice on the 24th of December. Okay? And then you can put, an end date. So let's say that, we have a particular, maybe this is a 12-month service. Okay, so this is a 12-month service. So it's going to end, December of 2025. Okay, so in a year from now, we're not going to have the service anymore. They're going to have to renew. We'll have to have that conversation. And so we're going to put an end date of the end of next year. That will have the system. We want to end it before then because we don't want it to send out on the 24th. So let's just end it on the 15th. This will have it send out 12 invoices. So you're going to get one on the 24th of December, 24th of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. We do not want it to send out next December. So we're going to end it before the 24th of next December. Okay. If we were to put the 31st of December, it's going to send it on the 24th of next December, right? So we need to end it before then, or we don't have to have an end date. So maybe we just never end it. Maybe we have a 12-month contract with this client, but we know that we're going to have conversations with them and we'll edit this before then. And we just know, because you can always come back and you can modify these schedules. So we're going to set the schedule and then get paid. Okay, so if you have automatic payments set up in Wave, you can use this here so that the client will automatically receive the invoice and automatically their preferred payment that they put on file with Wave when you set up this pre-authorization request, okay? It will automatically charge them. So you don't even have to worry about collecting payment. Wave will do that for you. So what will happen is Wave will send an agreement to your customer. So Susie is going to get an email and it's going to say, hey, you have a pre-authorization request from ABC Corporation. And it's going to tell her, you need to put a preferred method on file. And they can use these different payment options, credit or debit cards, or an ACH transfer, okay? You have to have payment set up within Wave, which is a completely separate process I'm not going to go over today. But you have to have payment set up in order to use this option. It can be a great option if you know that you're going to bill that customer every single month a certain amount. That can be a great option for you. However, if you do not have it set up, you can switch to manual payments. So your customer will have to pay for each invoice manually, okay? So if you have payments set up through Wave, you can use automatic payments. Otherwise, we're gonna have manual payments. Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky. So ABC Corporation is on a free option, okay? So you'll see I now have two options for sending. I can send automatically or I can send manually. If I want to send automatically, I can't be on the free Wave subscription, okay? So that's just one thing to consider. We're going to send manually. So this means that the invoice is going to generate within Wave, but every month I'm going to have to go in and manually send it. If I wanted to send automatically, I can. It's going to be $16 per month for the Pro plan, okay? So you can certainly do the Pro plan. I just want to show you, I know a lot of customers use Wave as a free option for bookkeeping. If you do use it for a free option, there are some features that you're not able to use. One of those being an automatic send. Okay, so this is the monthly maintenance package. This is what your invoice is going to look like, right? So there's no logo. I have put monthly maintenance package. I changed the name here, monthly distiller maintenance. So here is the item and here's the description. So when we were putting together the invoice, the description was next to the item name. It doesn't look like that on the invoice. Now this is where those two other written items sit on your invoice. So you have the notes and the terms, which is right here, and then you have that footer which says thank you. Okay, let me show you where these are in your Create invoice. So here's the note / terms, and the footer says thank you. So let me show you one more time. Note / terms are right here, and the footer is right there. Okay, you don't have to put anything there if you don't want to. It's okay. The invoice will send without that. It's not a big deal. So let me show you what it looks like if we were to take those off. So you can remove the notes and terms item, and you can also remove this footer item. If you don't put anything there, there's nothing here. So there's not that note / terms header because you don't have anything filled in there. So there's nothing there. Okay. So it doesn't look like you forgot to fill something in. So you're okay if you don't want to use it. Okay. So I'm going to click send manually. And so I will manually send each invoice to my customer. Again, you can upgrade for an easier time. Click next. And then it's going to say you're almost done. So review the details of your recurring invoice above and approve it when you're ready. So it says once approved, your first invoice will be created December 24th. So I'm going to approve and start. So you have activated a recurring invoice. Okay, your first invoice will be generated on December 24th. See how this status is active, whereas before it was in a draft area. Okay, so if I want to look to see what my recurring invoices are, so I'm in the dashboard, I just logged in. I want to go look to see my recurring invoices. I can come here and click on this recurring invoice section. I can then create a recurring invoice, or I can see my active items, okay? And I can come here, I can view, I can edit, or I can end. I can also duplicate it. If I end it, it will stop sending this recurring invoice, okay? It won't erase what's already happened, but it will stop it from happening in the future. So if I stop this, the beginning of June, for example, the June 24th invoice will not send because I've ended the sequence. However, the May 24th invoice has already been created. So the May 24th and all invoices prior will continue to stay in Wave. They've already been made. It just will not create any additional new items. Okay, so that is recurring invoices. I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys next time.